Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to another episode of New Music Finds. So this is where I like to collect together all the different albums that I've purchased over the past week and present them to you. And I get them from different places like my local record store, but also online retail like Amazon, eBay, and more. And so I've got quite a bit to go through for this one here. I've actually got 8 CDs, a box set, and a 10-inch vinyl. And we'll dive into all of that in just a bit here. But before we do, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, by subscribing, you will be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music, just like this with another episode of New Music Finds. So kicking things off as we always do, we start with brand new releases, and one of the ones that just absolutely blew me away, the brand new Skid Row album, The Gang's All Here, this one being their 6th studio album. Really liking this one here. Wasn't sure that I was going to enjoy it as much as I have. I had a lot of reservations about it. Vocalist isn't Sebastian Bach. It's been 16 years since their last full-length studio album, like just a whole bunch of different things like that. But the album itself, in my opinion, is easily the best thing that they have done since Slave to the Grind. So you'll have to check it out and see if you agree with it. I have done a full review of the album, and I'll leave a link in the description below, and you can check that out. But this one here is smoking, start to finish, all killer, no filler. Definitely worth checking out if you were ever a Skid Row fan in the past. Another big one that came out that ended up surprising me, the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Return of the Dream Canteen, 13th studio album for them. And this one here ended up really connecting with me after the last one, Unlimited Love, didn't really do that for me. Great album, Unlimited Love, just nowhere near as good as this in my opinion here. And what's cool is that Unlimited Love only came out 6 months ago, so you've got this one dropping 6 months later. You had 17 tracks on the first one, 18 tracks on this one, 35 new songs from the band in just a 6-month period. Very cool. Now, I've heard them say in interviews that they recorded over 60 songs from those sessions, because Unlimited Love and Return of the Dream Canteen come from the same sessions with Rick Rubin. So maybe we'll be getting a third one down the road. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But if you weren't really digging the last one, maybe check this one out and see if it connects with you better the same way that it did with me. All right, another one that I got that was a new release, maybe a little different for most of you guys out there, is the Firestarter soundtrack that's done by John Carpenter. And John Carpenter, who did all those 80s movie scores like Halloween and Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing and just a whole bunch of different ones, or did the theme songs. Of course, I know sometimes he composed with people on these, but really good stuff. I like that. It's very much, if you don't know what his music sounds like, if you think about the music that is in Stranger Things, that's what this stuff is. So this one being a remake of the movie Firestarter, because he did the original one back in the day. This one here, he's made the music for that. He also did the new music for the recently just released Halloween movie that came out called Halloween Ends, I think it's called. So very cool. If you're a John Carpenter fan like I am, there's like several new soundtracks and things like that out there, this being one of them. Okay, then I got some import stuff. This one here, Paris. Bob Welch, formerly of Fleetwood Mac, his band, 1976, put out 2 albums. This one here is on the Rock Candy Records label. That's the only one I knew about. And then I saw this one pop up, and I was kind of surprised and shocked. But I had remembered hearing something about it. And sure enough, it is a Bob Welch album. It's a part 2 or second album. Both of them came out in 1976, so I checked it out streaming before getting it and absolutely loved it. Now the funny thing is, this one never really did much for me, but this one here upon listen did. So maybe they shook off the cobwebs and whatnot and made that one, and just the second one they really gelled more than they had as the first one. But I'm sure there's plenty of you that love the first album better than the second album, but that's just my initial take on it. And then I got a box set, and I had to order it from the UK. Bob Mould, And this is called Distortion, the best of Bob Mould from 1989 to 2019. So a nice 30-year span there for him. What's cool is it covers all his different incarnations of, we've got the stuff that he starts where he's solo, and then he did Sugar, and he did several other different projects as either the Bob Mould Band or we've got, I think it was one called Loudmouth. There's a number of things on here that I wasn't familiar with, that I didn't even know about. So that's why some of these are pretty cool to get a hold of. Blow Off is one of them. Oh, Loud Bomb, that's the other one. So I like that. That was really cool. 4 discs, and discs 1, 2, and 3 are the studio tracks and stuff that span from 89 to 2019. CD4 on here is live, but it's got something from 89, 94, 98, and 2008. So if you're a live fan, you got that whole live disc there covering different careers and periods, including him playing with Sugar. That's how I found Bob Mould, was through Sugar. And then, branched back into his solo stuff, and that's, rest of his thing. But this was cool. There's like a 10 CD box set where you can get everything, or you can just get this, which is what I chose to do. Okay, while I was at Academy, or not Academy, which I did go to Academy, I guess I'll just shift over to that. While I was at Academy, picked up 3 things, and you guys saw a Let's Go to the Record Store Experience video from that, so you can check that out. But I picked up this, the Cult Electric. I've already got a couple different versions of this, but I like this pressing of it better. I like the way that the art is done. I like how the spine is written. Just everything about this one was a little cooler than the way that they kind of pared it down later on, and especially during the remastered edition of it that they did to celebrate its anniversary. Didn't care for it nearly as much as this, so wanted to add that back into the collection there. Midge Ure, lead vocalist for Ultravox, but he's also played guitar and done things with other bands. A lot of you guys were pointing out that he had played with Thin Lizzy and whatnot. I knew all of that sort of stuff, but the recent way that I had found him and wasn't aware of him as a frontman or vocalist was Ultravox, and definitely digging that stuff. This is a little different than that. I was kind of expected it to be the same, but it is a little bit different than that. Although track number 1 didn't really grab me on this, but track 2, Take Me Home On, really did, and I found myself really enjoying it. So this one here is a 1988 album called Answers to Nothing, but anything from the 80s I'll pick up and check out. And then I also got this, a Living Color collection. What's your favorite color? It's remixes, B-sides, rarities, and like you guys, I heard a lot of people saying, you never seen this collection. Well, I'd never seen it either, and I googled and looked it up, and it is listed on Wikipedia and stuff like that, but and it doesn't say anything about it being a promo, so maybe it was a very limited release done officially, through Sony and stuff like that. But this is something I had never seen and glad to get a hold of here. It's got some remixes, some acoustic versions, and some live tracks on it. 10 tracks total, and it came out in 2005. So however it is, I'm glad to get it in the collection, but definitely a low budget thing. We've got the information on the tracks there, which is cool because at least they provide that. But when I say low budget, I hate it when you get the interior that's white like that. That's why I was kind of wondering if this was like a promo type thing where they don't bother spending any money doing that because it's just for promotional reasons and whatnot. But either way, got that, added that into the collection, so that was kind of a cool thing. And then just this past Friday, while not a new release, it was a reissue. Peter Frampton, Premonition, 1986 solo album, featured the song Livin' on here. I didn't know that one, but that was the one that was being promoted and whatnot. I guess it was a pretty popular one. Very much of the 80s, got the 80s production, keyboards, that kind of stuff in it. I really dig it though. I like the 80s. I can't get enough of that sort of stuff. So while those of you that grew up with him in the late 60s and then into his heyday of the 70s and whatnot, probably not your favorite album by him, but I love the stuff that he put out from the 80s. And I have to say, I didn't really know what to expect. I was just buying it because I saw it was from 1986. But after 2 listens to this, I'm really digging it and enjoying it. Glad I added that to the collection. And then found this. Didn't know this had come out in 2015. Record Store Day exclusive, The Dictators, The Next Big Thing EP, features Andrew W.K. doing some 2015 remixes and having some studio outtakes and things like that on it. 6 tracks total on this thing. Haven't opened it yet. I'm going to be opening it to check it all out. But it says 3 brand new thunderous remixes reimagined by Andrew WK from the proto-punk classic album, The Dictators Go Girl Crazy, plus 3 unreleased outtakes from the original album sessions featuring newly discovered recording Backseat Boogie. Limited edition to 2,500 copies on opaque red vinyl. Didn't even read it was on red vinyl. I like how, opaque just means you can't see through it. So instead of just saying red vinyl, it's opaque red vinyl. Really getting creative with the way they call those things out, making something a little more than maybe it should be. But there you go. So yeah, a lot of cool things. 8 CDs, 10-inch vinyl here, and a box set all going along there. So had a lot of cool things. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Maybe got some ideas for yourself. I did do a full review for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and as I mentioned, the Skid Row, and I'm going to leave links to both of those in the description below if you want to check those out. All right, everyone, have a good day. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.